Okay, we're back. The last demo went kind of slow because I really took my time for people completely new to Excel. Doing a lot of hand holding, hopefully bringing you up to speed on some functions that I know are used in HR shops all over the place for HR planning and other uh, reporting and other functions. Excel is something we all have to get pretty comfortable with. So in this portion I'm going to go a little more quickly, and we're going to be doing a little more complicated things, but it's nothing too bad, I hope. Um, the calculations we're going to be doing are percentage share out of the total, so the percentage of jobs that are in each industry for a given month. And we're also going to look at absolute change, which is month to month change in number of jobs per industry. And we're going to look at relative change as well. We'll take the absolute change and we'll use the previous month's value as a base, and we'll calculate that percentage. So by breaking it up into two steps like that, it's a lot easier, and it gives you the two numbers uh, that you can chart or use in your reports. So we're back in Excel, and there's our chart from last time. We're going to click back to the Data tab and make it a little smaller because we have to do a little bit of navigation here. Now, we want percentage share of each industry out of the total. Now, the total, the way we've done it, I didn't download the Canton data for the official total, but the total should be very close to this shaded area here. And that is each of the goods industries as components, individual items, plus our subtotal of all the services industries. The very first thing we have to do, just like we did last time, is insert rows to give ourselves space for the calculations. I'm just clicking, just to be safe, 30 rows, and using insert. And now we can start our formulas. Just like you can use the plus sign to copy the value of a cell, you can use a number cell. You can use the plus sign to copy the value of a label as well. That's what we're doing here. In cell B27, I put plus B5, and we get our label for forestry and logging. Now if we copy that value down, we get all the labels, and I'm going to copy one column over just to show you that it works for numbers as well. And I guessed right, it goes all the way down to finance, insurance, real estate, and rentals. And we didn't copy any of the formatting, which is not a problem because we're going to be doing percentages here. Now, the denominator is going to be the sum of these rows. So what you want to do, let's do our denominator first. Sorry, I made a typo there. So you want to go plus sum, open bracket, go to the first element, press shift, go to the last element, close brackets, and enter. Now I'm going to copy that down, and you're going to see I'm making a mistake on purpose here. Control V. We get different numbers, which is wrong. And the reason is the first one is correct. It's showing the cells we wanted. But when we copied it, it converted the C5 one row down to become C6, and the C10 one row down to C11. So we need a way of locking the rows so that the denominator is rows 5 through 10 all the time. And the way you do that in Excel is a $sign before what you want to lock. You want to lock the rows with a $sign before the 5 and before the 10. We do not want to lock the columns because the denominator will change from month to month. You'll see that in a second if you're not clear on that. So now we copy it again, V, and we have the same number all the time. So that's the hard part. That's the denominator. Now, for the numerator, it's the value of forestry in this case over top of the denominator. And so the division sign, I'm working right to left here. And type in plus C5. Enter. And you get 1%, but it's not formatted as a percent. You have to change it like that. From the home menu, use the percent style button. So Control C, again, all the way down. Control V. We get errors here where we had X's. So I'm just going to delete those. And there we have it. So you see we've got the service sector here is 76% in 1991. And now to see that through time, we're going to copy the entire block, Control C, and zoom with the Shift button to the right. There's quicker ways to get all the way across, but that'll work for us here. And Control V. And what's our service sector at the end of the series? 81%. And Shift left. Oh, sorry, Control left. 76%. So 81% over, what do we have? 20 years. That's the growth of the service sector. Nothing too dramatic, but over time, it's a definite trend. Okay, so that's how to do the share, percentage share of a total. The next element we have to do is we're looking at movement from month to month. So again, we insert some rows, highlight a block of rows, it just pushes those footnotes down. It's still there. We added some blank rows. So again, we want our labels, and I'm going to refer back to the original labels there. I'm sorry, I'm going to insert one extra row here. See that, why I'm doing that in a second. So Control C. I'm guessing how many rows. I missed one row here. Control V. So there's our labels. Now, there's no month-to-month movement in column C because that's our first movement. We're going basically from 0 to our first estimate. So our first month-to-month movement is going to be here, and this is absolute change. So quite simple, the formula. We go up to the original numbers. Absolute change is the new value, D5, minus the old value, C5. enter. There's no need to lock anything here. We can just copy that. And again, we get some arrows, and we have pretty ugly formatting there, that the minus sign being so far away. So I'm going to kill these two errors to do with our x's. And we're going to format. Try comma format. That's no good. So we're going to use a custom format. This is the one I like. It has commas in it, and it shows the negatives in red with the minus sign right beside the number. It's a lot more readable, don't you think? Now, I'm going to show one trick that I do here. This is pretty advanced. Most people don't do this kind of stuff. To show what I'm subtracting, I'll go to the first time period, and I'm going to use an ampersand and use quotation marks, a space, and then two, another space, close the quotation marks, and then and the period. This is all from row 4, B4. And what we've gotten here is two date values with the word 2 in front of it. So we have to use a formula. Text. And it's y, and m. Try that. That looks more like it. So we use that same formula. This is a advanced formula. You don't really need to worry about this, but you might find it handy, and I'll be providing the spreadsheet when I'm along with these recordings. So, whoa, sorry, I shrank that. Expand it up again, and I'm going to wrap the text there. Let's make it a little more readable. And so we have our whole block there. That's absolute change. Pretty handy to write a little label for it. Up here I'm going to write insert a row and write a label here, which is percentage share. And let's make our labels bold. Bold. And all we have to do is copy this all the way across. Control C. This is time travel. Control V. There we have it. I'm just scrolling through looking at some of the numbers. We can look at, let's do a very quick chart of month-to-month changes for trade. So I've selected a few of the cells, and then I'm going to go Shift right, Control Shift right to get to the very end. Insert line, And again, we have the problem with the x-axis. I'm going to take the label out because we only have one item. But you can see all the ups and downs month to month in, this is retail and wholesale trade. So these are your Best Buys and your Sears and your Loblaws. And the month to month movement, you can see it's a pretty noisy pattern, and it's ranging between around 40,000 at an extreme month up to 40,000 when it's an extreme hiring period. And embedding those are December's being retail. But I'm not going to take the time to do the label for that, the x-axis. You can do that on your own. I'm just going to delete the chart. I just had a quick look at the numbers. Now for the last element, we're going to do relative change, which is percentage change. So percentage change from month to month is simply the difference over the base value. Okay, so the difference is, in this case, is 81,000 less 79,000 over 79,000. But we don't have to do the 81 minus 79 part because it's done here. So we've added our rows. We'll point to our labels. Again, I just using the top value. I'm going to need more rows, I think. Control V. Sorry, typo. Insert. Rows. Control C. Control G. Yeah, I got it. Okay. I forgot to add a space for my label, so we're going to insert a row at the top. And the formulas move down, which is a nice feature. Now, for this one, again, we're starting in row D, in column D. And you want to go to the numerator, which is forestry, use the division sign, and go up to the base. It's way up at the very top, and it's our highlighted cell. And it's 3%. We'll format that. There you go. Now, do we need to lock anything? We have to lock when we were doing the percentage shares. Do we need to lock anything here? The answer is no. The denominator is always the same distance. It's all geometric. If you want, it's all symmetrical, and you don't have to use the dollar signs to lock anything. And I'm just clicking through some of the formulas to show you that. So we can copy that one cell, that one formula, all the way down, all the way across, and there you go. Once again, we have our values. I forgot to take them out. So Control, Shift, right, and delete. And we see some of the movements month to month. I think education services might be an interesting one to look at. So let's do a very quick chart. Control right, insert line chart. There seems to be a oddity in the data at one point there. That's something definitely worth looking at. Thinking that might be an X or some oddity there. Negative 0. Okay, no, actually, this is just a very stable series. There's only 1 month where there was a real jump, so we'll ignore that one. The neat thing about using percentage changes is you put everything on the same scale. So you can look at manufacturing versus trade, and you don't have to worry about one series being um, very much higher than the other one. So there's manufacturing, and we'll do our trick for editing. Select data, add. Everything is in my way here right now, just 1 sec. Cancel. Hold that for a sec. Move this out of the way. Do it again. Okay. Right mouse click, select data, add. Excuse me. And we want trade. Here. And then series values. Move this down out of my way. Select that one, just move right, and then Control Shift right, Control Shift right again. And that's our series. And for the dates, we can go with either range. We could use the original ones, which are a little smaller. Control Shift left. Or we could have used our formula labels that we had for the dates. Let's have a go down here and look for our chart. I love Microsoft. I moved it over to the right. There we go. What do we have here? There's trade. I think I have to trade, edit. Didn't pick up the values. So click this again and go to our starting point. Go right. That's more like it. Okay. Again, we drag this into the chart area. Click so we have boxes, expand the chart area, and move chart. Would show up in that menu, so I just have to find a different space on the chart. Move chart. There we go. New sheet chart. We'll call this chart 2. Okay. So there we have it. It's interesting here. You can see certain spikes where trade is gaining a lot more than manufacturing. And in the recession, you see that manufacturing lost a lot more than trade in terms of month-to-month percentage job losses by industry. So coming up with quick charts is a really good way to get a feel for the movements of the data in a hurry. And you don't have to scroll through a lot of numbers there. Obviously this chart needs some work to make it readable and usable, but I'll leave that for you guys to play around with. There's a lot of different techniques you can use for that, but that's certainly a chart with a lot of information, and it's telling you 20 years of history for two different industries compared to each other, and we've used relative percentage change to allow for that comparison. And it's all pretty easy to do, and you've learned three really handy formulas and how to work with data sets and make some good comparisons and to look at trends. So I hope that's useful, and just going to see what we have left. Oh, we've already, how about that? We covered the chart for relative change already. I'm going to continue on in this segment, if you don't mind, and we're going to do a chart of percentage share. And so we'll just go back up. Let's use manufacturing again, and healthcare. And I'm going to do a bar chart, a column chart, just to show you something different. Generally, I would use line charts for monthly data that we'll have to chart here. Sorry, oh, I put that on myself there. Let me undo that. Just click the chart and delete it. First, you want to set your range. Control Shift right, and we have our label and our range, but we don't have our x-axis. Insert column, 2D please. Leave 3D for Shrek and other fine films. And so that's the percentage share of manufacturing, and that's really something to see. It going from 16% and just plunging down, and then flatlining here at 10%, which is really astounding. And we want to move it over a bit. I'll try to remember where I put it this time. And we're going to add a data series to it. Select data. And what did we say we wanted to add? Healthcare, I think, would be fun to look at. Okay. Okay. So we click our label, and then the values, click there. And we'll click the label again, and right. And Control Shift right. And there you go. Now here's a reason why line charts are better than column charts for this kind of data. You can see at the crossover point where the manufacturing is subsumed, because healthcare is now grown to be a larger percentage of jobs than manufacturing, which is really something. In terms of the economy, that's all the growth of China and Mexico and offshoring right there. That's what's happening in the economy and the job market. So I'm going to leave it off there. You know how to do the x-axis using the edit. Um, I hope all my control shift uh, uh, wording was okay for you and you were able to follow along. We'll do another one of these in class on Wednesday, and you can ask questions there. And I'm going to upload this spreadsheet. I'll save it again, and I'll leave it off. So thanks everyone for bearing with me and my voice in this recording. I hope this is the first time I've recorded this type of media, so I hope you find it helpful. And I think the strength in it is that you can go at your own pace. So hopefully you're all good with that, and hopefully you're on your way to getting comfortable with Excel. And please don't be intimidated. If you save your work as you go along, um, you can go ahead and make mistakes and just reopen the file um, uh, from the last time you saved if, uh, if you do something seriously wrong. So good luck with that, and we'll see you in class for to handle any questions. Take care. Keep smiling.